let's have a quick travelogue. I haven't done one of these in a while. I have a couple of stories to get to before I have to leave. I have a treatment today. So yesterday was an interesting day. Part of my uncle asked me, he says, if it's difficult to kind of organize the trip, why do you do it? And I think I do it for moments like yesterday, if I'm being honest, where you don't necessarily know what your day is going to be like. I got up that morning because I was going to go to a sauna nearby. I do saunas because it augments the treatments. When I'm traveling, it's not, you have to buy your treatments. You can't necessarily get them. And I got to be honest, between that and the States, in some odd way, I prefer buying them. It allows me to be somewhat out of, detangled from the whole medical thing. Not to mention, I don't necessarily know if I can even get one back in the States because fuckery. That's a whole nother video in and of itself. Medical establishment it's for profit in the United States, viciously for profit. And so they would send you a bill for like $40,000 and they would have the little thing, hey, you can send your card if you need to pay for this, which is fucking insane. Nobody has that much cash. That would never take place here. There's no situation here in any of these European countries where that would take place. That would be mind-blowing to anybody here in Europe that something like that takes place, even though they're aware that the type of pernicious activity takes place. You have cancer, pay me. You have AIDS, pay me. You've broken a bone, pay me. Essentially that type of exploitative relationship. That's a different video. Yesterday, I go with this idea of getting the sauna. I need to pull a certain amount of fluid out of my skin, and it helps augment the distances between treatments. And so I have to schedule those into my trip. And, it's not a big deal. It's like you go to a gym, you give them €5 or something, and you just bake. You lose a ton of fluid in about 30-minute span. I'm in Germany, and I do the same thing that I've done in every other country. I take my swim trunks with me. They give me a towel, and I go in the sauna and bake. Never been an issue. And, that's just the way things are done, be it in Czech Republic, be it in, I didn't do it in Poland. But every other country, it was that way. Barcelona, it works. In fact, in Barcelona, the guy came in to make sure I had something on under it because he was like, yeah, just make sure you got something on under that, buddy. And then he offered me a massage at his house. It was like, dog. No, dog. But in this case, I go to a German sauna. I go to this place. Let's flip it. I'm going to get the news after this. I have one or two shows that I can do before I leave. So I go to this place. A live-in wellness lounge sauna. Innocuous. Fair enough. Relax, feel good, let go, etc., etc., etc. Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Let me bake on a bench for a period of time. Now, so that's what I do. And I do the same thing that I've done in every other country. Hey, how much for the sauna? €10. Okay, here's €10. And I go in, and everybody's naked. Everybody is naked. It's a mixed sauna, so you have men and you have women, and everybody is butt naked. The changing rooms also mixed sex. You have women who come in who are completely stark raving naked, beside men who are stark raving naked, with their little Johnsons flailing about. Just no semblance of concern about this. I didn't know this, and I am in my trunks baking in the sauna, and a bunch of people come in and naked. I'm like, oh my God. Now, immediately after this, you get to this thing of, even though you're the one with clothes on, you become overtly aware that you have clothes on. And it becomes this thing of, oh fuck, I think I need to take my shorts off And would it be more bizarre if I just right here take my shorts off? My choice in this was to, all right, just keep laying here. And if somebody comes in and tells you, Mr. Thomas, you need to take your shorts off, and fair enough, just keep laying here. I have certain body sensitivity issues. And the fact that I even went in without a shirt was a mind-blowing experience for me in these various different places, especially with the scarring. I have also some surgical scars. And just from being a kid, when I was younger, there were certain things in my head that was placed on top of the cultural stuff that comes from from the States. I thought it was a big deal that I even went without a shirt. And all of these people are there without their undies and whatnot on. I lay there. I don't know what to do. I just lay there. I was like, all right, I'll be the odd man out. I'll keep my shorts on. I'll just lay here. A guy walks in with a towel. I assume he's stark naked under that towel because everybody else is stark naked. And he starts speaking in German, and I have no idea what the fuck he's saying. And then he starts waving a towel in the air. He's like, and I'm like, all right, I don't know what's taking place here. One guy is chanting, another guy is in this kind of lotus pose, and I just lay there. I don't know what's taking place. Any action that I do, I don't want to get up and walk out. And at this point, he's standing by the door. That seems it would be more of a scene and more embarrassing. So I just lay there. And what I realized, he's making it hotter. Like, as he's in there, he's getting it hotter and hotter and hotter. Now, I've been in there at this point for about 30 minutes. And, by the time you're in there for 30 minutes, it's brutal. Like, my fingertips are tingling because my calcium is low. And I am sitting there like, oh, God, my legs, like everything is, I feel weird. And at this point, I'm like, all right, I need to get out here, but I can't get out here. And I'm not going to punk out. I'm going to stay here. And I sit up as this guy is doing this, and he's, for 10 minutes, throwing heat in the various directions in the sauna, making it hotter and hotter and hotter. And it feels like, it's almost like if you're standing near a stove, and there's like this kind of heat radiating from the stove. It was like that. It was that type of moment. And it's like I'm gritting my teeth, like, oh, take it. Don't mind taking it, and passing out would be far worse, but I'm not passing out. Take it, fucking American. We don't quit. We stay in a war situation for years on end, even after it's clear we're doing damage. Finally, after about 5 or 10 minutes of him throwing the scented heat in the various directions, he says something. He's Dankeschön at the end, which means thank you, and he leaves. And I'm like, here's my chance. Now, I feel some kind of way about getting up, because there's a secondary feeling of, I have my pants on, or at least shorts, and they're naked. And is it unfair for me to have my pants on with them being naked? And do they feel some kind of way about me having my pants on and them being naked? And, it's that type of weird stuff that goes through your head in that moment. And so I get out there and I just look to the ground. I can't do anything else. I have people passing by. There are women who are passing by. The only thing I know. And I want to communicate. I'm not staring at your tits. I know I have my shorts on, but I'm not staring at your tits. I'm minding my own business, but there's a thing in your head of, but do they know that? I ended up going to a comedy club last night, and I was speaking to a Finnish couple there who spoke nearly perfect English, and they've been living in Germany for a period of time. And she thought that was utterly hilarious. She says, yeah, clothes aren't allowed. Like, very seriously, clothes aren't allowed in these saunas. You got to go all natural. And she says, they believe that that's a Finnish sauna. That's not a Finnish sauna. And she was like, the guy who's coming in, like, they were making it this kind of ritual. She says, yeah, that's, you have to go all natural. And I tell her, I didn't know that. Nobody told me that. That's not on the fucking website. And it's like hashtag not ready, ill prepared for this cultural situation. My own sensitivities were eating me alive. God, man, you're fucked up in two ways. In one way, the states have this kind of religious thing going on. So you have like the body is this disgusting vessel that must be clothed at all times. And then when I was younger, I used to have tits. And so in my head as a kid, you don't take your shirt off. You don't do any of that stuff. I had surgery to remove them, but I still have scars. Not to mention surgical scars, like the stomach from multiple bowel resections and all this other stuff. I have a ton of scars. And so for me, it was like, yes, I'm taking my shirt off. Fuck it. Yes. Show my chest. Not enough, sir. Not enough. We're aware that, this is a big experience for you, but not enough. Not enough. I wasn't prepared. I was entirely ill-prepared. Gino Cho, the family that gets naked together stays together. Fair enough. Yeah, not enough. Robert Pouquet-Ray, freedom. Laughing my ass off. Not enough. It wasn't enough. It was like Macron coming out, giving his, all right, I'll make these concessions. And they're like, no, sir, not enough. I was amazed by this. Like, there are no, I can't think of any naked stuff like that. And what's wild about it, at the comedy club, the people who were doing the comedy club, 3 African Americans, literally the stand-up act. Now this shocked the shit out of me. You're in the middle of Germany and there are 3 African Americans who are doing the comedy, so great. And the woman kept referencing me in her jokes, especially when she would make like black jokes, and she was like, yeah, brother over there, you get it, right? You get it. Now in her comedy routine, she makes notice of nude parks that are in Germany and how she's walking and she's like, oh my God, these people are naked. Same perspective that I had. And not just, oh my God, these people are naked. She says, kind of like I did, fuck it, I'll just go. I'll let the girls out. She was like, phew. And she's just walking with her tits out. Oh man. Like, it's amazing how her experience was similar to mine. In this particular thing, Jamarl, you need to meet Reginald D. Hunter. A Dingo in My Baby Japan is also co-ed naked hot springs. Is it now? So Iceland was too. Now in Iceland we were prepared. Like we got mentally ready for this. So in Iceland, the guy in one of the comedy routines, he was talking about the naked thing. And it was like, and I turned to my wife. I said, is that the thing we're going to? And she said, I think so. It's like, we have to get naked for that? Like, butt naked? And there are people who they pay to inspect you to make sure you are naked. Meaning when you're taking those showers and when you're getting into those hot springs, that you are butt naked. But at that point, you get your mind ready for this. When you go in, to just know that's going to take place. Just walk. All right. Let's do this. You get your mind ready. This was different. This was, I just want to bake. This is a medical procedure for me. And you people are fucking naked. It's like, shit, man. If it makes you nervous, it ruins your good time, then don't do it. I didn't know about it. Like, it wasn't, I think the issue here is I was ill prepared because I didn't know. Not to mention, me having pants on and them not immediately puts in perspective that I have pants on. And then, it becomes this weird thing of, I need to take my pants off. Well, I can't take my pants off in right now because, what would I do with my pants? Not to mention, me taking my pants off here, it looks a little weird. Yeah, it's odd. It's odd. It was a bizarre experience, man. Again, it wasn't, I think if I was prepared, and then it became this cultural thing of, fuck it, you gotta take your pants off. You gotta go back in there, you gotta take your pants off. You need to have this experience. You can't back away from the experience. Just take your pants off and just go. I didn't do that. I took my shower. I put my pants on and I left. And I thought to myself, all right, that was an experience. Yeah, that was an experience. I just love being naked. Gino Choi, I wish I was that way. I wish I didn't care. But I have a lot of sensitivities. Just don't get hard. That's the other thing, right? Like, it's like when you're getting a massage and the thing in your head is, all right, this woman is touching me. You can't have sex with this woman. Don't get hard. There's that too. Please try again. It could be a major hurdle for you to free yourself. Lorm's right there. So that was the thing I thought too. But see, the catch is, me taking my shirt off was a free myself thing. You don't understand. You to put it in perspective, because I know that it's hard for people to realize this. For the entire time I was with all of my girlfriends up to that point, I never took my shirt off. Like, there was no situation where they would catch me without a shirt on, either a tank top or something else. And that was going all the way back up until the point where my current wife. And even with her, it was years before I got to the point where I would, go without a shirt. So the idea that I'm going to a sauna at all and take my shirt off was mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing. Like, that in and of itself was a jump the hurdle moment. You know what I mean? Like, that was like, that in and of itself was a major hurdle. Shamari Kate, I'm all about being clothing optional, and I'm older. Yeah, this just rubs, it's sensitivity stuff just going on from my childhood. That's all. And I even know it. Garden Gnome, I have no desire to see unattractive people naked. Nudist lifestyle holds no appeal. It's not about seeing other people naked. I think that's where you're missing it. The goal of it is not to stare at other people naked. The point of it is to not care. Like, in the Iceland thing, in the hot springs, it was nudist. You had to go without anything on. Nobody cared. My wife made the point. She says, there were older people there that were, not necessarily in the best of body shape, and there were younger people there. Nobody cared. Big, small, everything in between. Nobody cared. They just went about their way doing their thing. And for me, that's how it was. Like, even being there, I didn't necessarily care that people were naked around me. I was just overtly aware of it because I had my shorts on. I was taking my shower and I was like, you gotta go back in there. And you gotta go balls out. You gotta go balls out. Turd Thralls. Also, at saunas and hot tub places in Mill Valley, and skinny dipping in lakes and rivers all over California. Nobody was modest. Everyone was cool with it. It was shared joints too. Nobody cared. Right there, nobody cared. Nobody cared. Jino Cho, human looks best naked. It depends on a human. Right? It depends on a human. That's not an absolute. Right, economics. I used to have a lot of. Where is it? I used to have a lot of body shame, but as I get older, I give less fucks to give. So that's where I kind of am. But like I said, hashtag I wasn't ready. I didn't know that. Like, it's one thing when you fix your mind to something, when you say to yourself, I'm going to do this. That's one thing, and I know what's coming up. Meaning, I know when I go. It's one of those things. It's another thing when I think I'm just going to sit in the sauna like I have in every other country, and everyone that walks in is his dick swinging. It's wild, man. It is wild. It is a wild experience. What are the cannabis laws where you are at? So you can get medical weed from Germany. It's legal. The cops are not necessarily going to harass you about it. But you can't necessarily get it. It's not like in Barcelona or Amsterdam where you can go to a pot club. That's harder to do. Same thing in Poland. They decriminalize pot, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing to get your hands on if you're a foreigner. Nudity should be legal. Yes, it should be. If someone wants to walk around with the nude, it should be a crime. Yes, agreed. Schwarby Kate Thrall's hot springs burned down, And the wild part is, in Finland, everybody has a sauna. Like they made she was making the point. She says, yeah, everybody has a sauna in their house in Finland. So when people go to the sauna, yes, they're naked, but everybody who's naked around you is family, so they don't necessarily think twice about it. She made me want to go to Finland. I thought it was cool. The Finns are even worse. Yeah, that's what she was saying. She thought she got a kick out of it. She got a kick out of my my awareness of shame. And the wild part is, it was shame on me, even though I had clothes on, even though I had my pants on. It's like fuck. Yeah, Genocho, Finns are born into their family saunas, the cleanest room in the house. Yeah, right there. It's cultural for them. It's cultural for them. It was wild, man. And another travel experience. I may split this video because this one is getting long. You have nothing to be ashamed of, my brother. No. Jino Choi, I make a distinction between something that's in my head versus something that's in reality. There's nothing to be ashamed of at all. It's, body is a body is a body. Her tits are not that much different than her tits or her tits. And his, swinging dick is not that much different than that guy. It's the stuff in my head, man. It's cultural stuff. It is hard to get over and get out that stuff. 21 minutes is long for you. And a video like this, Dax, it depends on the video, in this particular video. So here's the other thing. The police here. Germany is a lefty country, man, and it is a weird thing to see. I got back to the bus station in Potsdam at maybe like 11:30, 12 o'clock-ish. It was late. The comedy club went for a long time. I mean, the comedy club didn't finish up until like 10 o'clock. And I had to get back across town from Berlin to Potsdam. And so it took a while. When I finally got back, the only thing that's open is McDonald's. Fuck. All right, fuck it, I get McDonald's. And while there, drunk people, and I don't like people who are wasted. I just don't. I don't like drunks. People who are stoned, yes, they're easier to deal with, and I think they're more funny than not. People who are wasted, not so much. I don't have much time for them. My grandfather was a evil alcoholic, and that's one of those sensitivities where I don't necessarily tolerate that well. And there were these guys who were kind of wasted, but whatever, they do their thing. The other Germans in the line started to assert themselves because they were annoyed that these people were kind of holding up the line. Now, again, you're in Germany, and they tend to be pretty rigid about stuff. Yet. 9, I think it's 9. They give their order, I give my order, and while I'm giving my order, there's the person who's at the checkout counter, and this other guy behind me is flipping the fuck out. Like, he's losing his shit. He's wasted. And he's like yelling back and forth with the guy who's giving the order. And he comes up and he slams his fist, knocking these things off the counter, in which case it really, provokes it. The guy at the counter, his lip was quivering, so his adrenaline was releasing. He was getting, I don't know if you call it scared, but he was getting concerned. But he was still screaming back at the other guy. And I'm sitting there watching this with everybody else, and the cops come. Now, when the cops come, I'm thinking they're going to fuck him up. And As you know, I lean toward libertarian anarchist, and my thought was, good. Even me, it had my seal of approval. Fuck him up. He's earned it. Kick his ass. This is of all the times where it is doing God's work to put somebody down. This would be one of those times. I was like, this guy's going to get tased. This guy's going to get shot. Or at the very least, this guy's going to get rustled to the ground. And his friends were trying to calm him down because he was getting in people's faces. He spit at the guy at the counter, which is the most disgusting shit you could do. And the cops walk him away. They walk him away. They just walk him away. And I hear them arguing, and the cop is getting in the guy's face, and they're like head to head. And I'm like, what are you doing? Put him down. What are you doing? And they just walk him away. Like they wrestle a little bit, and they walk him away. And I'm thinking, I was like, wow. They didn't fuck this guy up. If this guy was in America, he would have been shot. And I'm shocked by this. Like, I'm so used to American cops that I am completely and entirely shocked by this. And even when I get my food in order to go down to my bus, my tram, they're still arguing. There's no way this would have, I don't even think this would have taken place in like France or somewhere. That was amazing. That was entirely amazing. The one time that I was okay with police violence, tase him. He's earned it. You have my seal of approval. Tase his ass. Do it. They don't do it. They walk him away. Like, holy shit, that's amazing. That's amazing. American cops equals trigger happy. Elephants on coke, yes. And I've become accustomed to that violent culture. I've become accustomed to that violent culture. Also, I don't like people behaving in those ways. I mean, it's fucking unnecessary. Like, it's completely unnecessary. Tase him, bro. Yeah, tase him, bro. It's gross. It's entirely gross. That's the first point. And beyond being gross, it's entirely unnecessary to behave in those ways. It's insane. Cultural sensitivity. Progressive voice exposed as a shield at a burned German bathhouse. Oh yeah, I know, right? I know. I was, yeah. It's so weird coming back to that violent culture, living in the passive culture like most of Asia. Yeah, it's strange. Do cops have guns over here? I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. In the United States, that dude could have had a gun. That's another difference. That's true, Garden. That's true. And they would have not taken any shit off of him in this way, though. Not at all. Like, that would have never happened. There's no way. Well, one of the jokes at the comedy routine, he was saying, the guy was on stage was African American from California, and if I'm not mistaken, I've seen him before. And as he's doing his joke, and the comedy routine was amazing. It was one of the few English-speaking comedy clubs. Again, African Americans. Like, there were like 3 of the acts. All 3 were African Americans. So fucking hell on that. I just randomly walked in. It wasn't something that I planned to do. It's I don't know. I don't know if they carry guns. And yeah, you're right, Garden. In the States, they might have had a gun, but they would not have taken that off of him at all. Like, can you imagine? You have my seal of approval. Tase his ass. Yeah, I know, right? I know. It's like a lefty is looking at this, and his lefty is saying, all right, fuck him up. You've earned it. You have my seal of approval. Tase him, bro. Tase him. They have batons that strike 10 times for every swing. Spring-loaded batons. They can also tackle you and draw blood on the side of the street to test you for sobriety. Shockingly, they let him walk away. They let him walk away. They wrestled with him a little bit, but ultimately they just let him walk away. The perp could have had a gun. No, a Garden. I agree with you. I agree with you. Cops in Germany do carry guns. Okay, they were. Well, they just let him walk away. That was amazing. I was shocked by that. Honestly, I knew Europe is more lefty on a lot of stuff. Like even for treatments, like for medical stuff, they tend to be less harsh. So in the States, if you have 5 kilos on, they're pulling 5 kilos. If you have 5 kilos on in Europe, they're like, "Ooh, we can't pull that much." What do you mean you can't pull that much? Yeah, we can't pull that much. And it's like, look, I hope you're okay. Just go ahead and pull it. Elephants will code. Good on the cops. I guess they didn't want to escalate the situation. Elephants, I agree with you intellectually, but the situation was already escalated. I mean, at the point where he's spitting on people, that is so fucking gross. And he's like knuckling up with each person, like even the cops. He's like, headbutting and whatnot. They had already escalated the situation. The situation was already up there. But you're right. Look. I recognize that from my own cultural grasp of cops, from my country, they would have never allowed that. That would have never been allowed. By the same token, oftentimes we're kind of making a point of, cops shouldn't act that way, cops shouldn't be that violent, cops shouldn't, et cetera, et cetera. Well, here's a case where the cop wasn't being violent. The cop wasn't being violent. All right. I'm going to end this. Weird, fascinating day. I met a British couple who were telling me about their bungee jumping experience. And she says, you don't want to know about my embarrassing experience. Now, I love British accents. I am a sucker for a British accent. And so when she started speaking, I loved the way she spoke. But she's telling me, she's like, yeah. She says, I had a really embarrassing experience when I went bungee jumping. And she's like, I went bungee jumping in Queensland. Okay, that's great. She says, similar to me, as you walk out, you're edging over the cliff and you're like, your body is telling you, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. This sounded like a good idea in the abstract, but in the reality of it, the wind is hitting you. This guy is telling you to go further and further out. Which makes sense because you have to jump, but your brain doesn't want you to do that. And she's like, I'm holding on to the railings. And she said, the guy's telling me to let go. And I let go and I reach behind him and I grab his cock. I'm like, what? She says, I grab onto his Johnson. She's like, And she said, the guy's voice goes up like 3 octaves, like, Miss, let me go. And she says, I let go. And she says, I accidentally fall off the edge of the cliff. And she says, instead of her like jumping, she just stumbles off. Now, this is a long way to stumble because this, you're going all the way, you're straight to the bottom. It's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. I jumped, so it is what it is for me. And the guy who's with her, I think it was her husband, he's done it apparently twice. Again, for him, he jumped. And her thing was, I just fell off the side. I didn't jump. I accidentally stumbled off. She says, it was so embarrassing. She says, A, I sexually harassed this guy. And B, it wasn't necessarily me having agency and just jumping. It was me being a klutz and just falling off the edge. She had me tripped. It was funny. She had me dying laughing. All right. I'm going to end this because I did want to get to 1 or 2 shows before I leave, and I don't think I'm going to have time. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this when I get back. So when I get back, we'll get a few news stories in. I did my a lot of the traveling I was going to do yesterday, so today would be for news. All right, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks all.